some parts. Alright fellas, in all seriousness, we have some hand guards here we're going to install. I do mostly woods riding, so it just makes sense to have guards so I'm not breaking levers. I went with the Tusk ones because they're reasonably priced, and I honestly love them. I put them on all my bikes, so I figured why not put them on the e-bike. So I guess maybe we'll bring the camera in closer and we'll begin the install. Alright guys, I figured it'd come in for an up close view here. When you order the Tusk kit, this is how they send it. You just have the brackets and stuff there. These are the front half of the clamps, and I have it for 1 1/8 inch, of course, because that's the size of the bars. And then they give you the color you choose guard in a package. And I figured I would get some grips as well, because kind of doing a yellowy gold theme with this thing. Got some forged carbon stuff on there, some wrap. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna pull off these grips, and then I have to cut the new ones. You have to cut the end of them off to be able to put these inserts in the end of the bars. All right, so first thing I like to do is I usually take like a long screwdriver and I'll try to work it in, because most of the time this stuff's glued. I don't believe these are glued on, so it shouldn't be terribly hard to get off. But yeah, I'll usually stick a long screwdriver in there, move it around a little bit. If there is glue, it'll usually break the glue. This is already moving, so that's good. Basically, you just twist and pull until it comes off. It can definitely be annoying, but the screwdriver definitely helps. Okay, got one off without ruining it. I like to do it this way just so if you ever need grips for something else, or who knows, you crash and you blow a grip out, it's always nice to have spares. Now my least favorite one is usually twist throttle side, because I always like to just be extra careful. You don't want to, especially this thing being electric and sensors, who knows what's in there. But I'm just going to go nice and slow, nice and gentle with the screwdriver so you don't rip the grip or anything. It's very easy to pop through and ruin the grip, and then at that point you should have just cut it. Which I suppose I should mention too, if you don't care about your grips, you could just take a razor blade and cut it. And just like that, the twist throttle side is off. And now we're going to be using the ODI Ruffian grips. I've never personally used them. I usually do the Pro Taper pillow top grips myself, but I actually didn't mind the stock grips, so I decided I would give a waffle style grip a shot. So pop these bad boys open. And now with twist throttle grips, one of the holes is obviously a little bit bigger because the throttle tube itself is bigger than the bar. So you have to just look at them to identify which one's bigger, and then you'll automatically know which one is for throttle tube side. So this is the bigger one. I'll deal with that in a second. But yeah, so for this nonsense, I've seen people, I've actually done it this way too. You can put like zip ties in and around this, like put it on, jam some zip ties in there, and then it helps you twist it on, and then when it's all the way on you can pull the zip ties out. Or honestly, in my opinion, one of the better ways is either put a little bit of water in there or just spit on the thing, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing, you get me?
And then just twist it on and it'll eventually dry out. Alrighty, the end of the grip is cut off nicely. So now I have these things out. I just pulled the rubber piece off of this one because the rubber piece is too thick to fit in this bar. So usually you would just pull off the rubber piece and this would be able to fit in there nicely, but this thing has a bunch of wiggle room. So I don't think, no matter how tight I tighten this, I don't think it's gonna hold good, which I've never had happen before in the many dirt bikes I've put these on. So I'm just gonna wrap the end of this thing in electrical tape just to give it, to take up some of the wiggle room, and then this shouldn't be an issue. And that definitely isn't gonna be an issue because a buddy of mine ripped one of his rubber sleeves one time and he did this and it worked fine forever. So yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping these things in electrical tape. And just like that, a couple wraps of electrical tape later, this thing fits in there nice and snug. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one of these. So quickly before I switch to the big camera, I went to test fit these, and They don't fit good. I'm assuming they accidentally sent me a 7/8 bar clamp because it fits good up here, which is 7/8. So I'm gonna have to reach out to them to deal with this nonsense, but for the time being, I'll make it work. It just looks stupid. Pretty unfortunate. Anyway, I'm gonna switch to the big camera now. All right, so I have the wraparound piece and I have the little bar insert. So now basically, we wedge this bar insert in. This is the most annoying part of this because the collar piece in the end of here can fall out and down into your bar, which is a giant nightmare if it does. So what I like to do is before I take this screw all the way out after forcing it in the end of the bar, I'll like yank on it a little bit and like while holding it in, because it pulls the collar into this piece and hopefully doesn't fall out. We'll see if I can do this for a shot. Pull the bolt out, put the bolt through the handguard, put this back in here. This is the most important part. I think I got it. Did I get it? I got it, first try. Unbelievable. Another thing you can do too is you can put the piece that goes into the bar on these first. I should have just done that, to be honest, because there's nothing in the way of me doing that like on some bikes, but whatever, it worked out. So now I'm just going to run that bolt in tight, make sure those are all tight, make sure that's tight again, and then I can put the plastic guard on it. Okay, so now we're just running everything tight. I don't ever go like crazy tight. I definitely snug it up pretty good, but there's no point in going like crazy tight. Okay, that's nice and snug. Make sure these are good. Those are pretty good. Now we can move on to the guard. So the guard just has a single hole here, which lines up obviously with a hole here. So you just snap this thing on there, line it up with the hole, run that in. Make sure that's nice and tight. And now it's time to move on to the other side. All right, fellas, had to move inside. It started to rain on me, but I got the guards on anyway, and I ended up just making my own graphics. So I removed the stock one that was on there, and I cut out some of this forged carbon wrap that I have. And I pretty much just used the factory sticker as a stencil. And then I made these custom Tusk logos to go on top of it. I think it looks pretty sick. It just sets it off, you know. The other logo was kind of lame in my opinion. It was white and red and stuff, and that's not the color scheme I'm going for. So now it matches, looks good. And I think I'm gonna end up, we'll see, but I might end up painting these silver pieces of the hand guards like a gold or something, because I have a bunch of gold parts coming, but who knows, we'll see. But yeah, I hope this helped you out anyway. Highly recommend these handguards. They're what I run on every one of my bikes, and I've yet to bend them or do anything stupid, and my other dirt bike has definitely hit the ground plenty of times. So good guards, affordable guards, you can't really beat it. Typical New England fashion. It's now sunny again, but here's a better look of these anyway. I think they came out pretty sick. Pretty cool for not a whole lot of money invested into aftermarket stuff, you know. You definitely don't have to spend crazy money to make these things your own, which is awesome. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.